Hello friends, welcome to today's video. Let me hope you're doing well. Today I'm going to share with us those top 10 books which have caught my attention. I request you to keep around and watch this video up the end, and please, if you're watching my videos for the very first time, I request you to consider subscribing, liking and sharing these videos. Now, I've always had an opportunity of easily accessing books, first of all because my father is a teacher of English and literature. So when he's at home, he comes with those books and I have to pick them from his shelf and go and read them. Sometimes when I don't ask for them from him, I make sure I read them very fast and I return them before he even discovers that they are missing. And at school, I make sure those librarians are my friends, such that they can always give me those books and I go and I read them. And also at the hospital where I am right now, there is a well-stocked library and there are very many books. So I'm always exposed to these books. That's why I've been able to read enough of them. I would like you to allow me not to rank these books because all of them have been equally good. So I'll just outline them from 1 to 10 and I hope you are going to enjoy this video. So the first one is A Kauri of Hope by Binwell Nyangwe, and this book was really very good to me. I remember I read it back when I was in senior 4, that was 2017, and I enjoyed this book just because of its characters. A lady like Nasula and her daughter Sula, I see their kind of life and how Nasula works very hard selling beans and making sure that her child goes back to school. Now, the next book which caught my attention is This Is Going to Hurt by Adam K. Now, this is a very funny book and you will laugh from the first page to the last page. However, it shows that kind of life which these junior doctors go through while at the hospital serving. The other book which caught my attention is The Iron Woman, and this was written by Lawrence Okene. Now, this book talks about two brothers in Acholi, Opito and Obina, and how they find lovers. It shows how Opito falls in love with Gladys, and it also shows how Obina falls in love with a girl called Margaret from Makerere University, and how Margaret is coming to Obina's family and then she's rejected because the Achoris say you can't marry a brown lady, and now how Margaret crashes with the lady who is supposed to marry Obina. And the story is very interesting, and this book can be read by anyone, and I request you guys to always go and read these books because they can be very interesting for you. Now, the other book which caught my attention is The Storms of My Grandchildren by James Hansen. James Hansen is a climate scientist and he talks about the upcoming climate catastrophes and how they can be solved. This is a very serious book to be read at this present time because we all see what is happening around the world. We see global warming and how fast it is happening. So we need to read these books and be able to know what can be done to ensure we stop these climate catastrophes from happening. Now, this list can't end without me including a book known as The River Between, written by Ngugi wa Thiong'o, my favorite Kenyan writer, and he talks about how these two villages separated by the river now going to clash due to their differences in culture and also religion. And it also goes on to talk about this young boy known as Wayachi and how he struggles to make sure he brings development in his village. So it is a very nice book and I charge you to go on and read it. So another book which actually caught my attention is a play written by Soyinka, a Nigerian playwright, and it talks about how Baroka the lion now goes on to struggle for love of Sidi, who is the jewel, with a modern guy who is known as Lakunle. It is a very interesting struggle for love and I request you to go and look for it and be able to read through it. Another play which caught my attention is The Government Inspector, written by Nikolai Gogo, and it is very funny. You will laugh until you finish it. It exposes all the large-scale corruption and shows how real corruption can lead to the collapse of communities. Then another book which I request all of us young people to go on and read is The Heartthrobbers by Sylvester Onzivua. So it talks about the betrayal and revenge which is attached to this modern type of love which most of us are going through. Then another play which I could not put down is The Merchant of Venice, which was written by William Shakespeare, one of the best writers of all times. So this play talks about a merchant known as Antonio and how he picks money from a moneylender known as Shylock to give it to his friend to go and try his luck in marrying a certain rich lady. However, this merchant fails to pay back this money in time. So this moneylender known as Shylock takes Antonio to court and requests the court to allow him to cut a piece of meat from his chest as a way of paying back his money. However, it all ends in tears for him because this young lady who has been married by Bassanio now disguises herself as a judge and comes and saves Antonio. So it is a very nice play and I charge you to go on and read it. The last book on the list is known as The Pearl, and it was written by John Steinbeck. It talks about a small family of a pearl diver known as Kino and his wife Joanna with their young son known as Koyotito. One day while looking for pearls, he gets the most beautiful pearl that no one has ever got. Now he thinks this pearl will solve all his problems, including taking his son to school. However, when most of the people know about it, they try to kill him in order to steal the pearl from him. So what he does is to leave the home and go somewhere, because after all, even the house was burnt. So these people track him everywhere he goes in order to kill him and steal the pearl from him. Now in trying to save the pearl and his family, his son is killed. Now the pearl which he thought would be the source of the money to take his child to school is the very pearl which results into his death. Now after all this, he gets disappointed and throws the pearl back into the sea. So it is a very nice book which actually shows even the traditional love which Joanna had for her family and how the family was peaceful until they got the pearl. So it exposes the greed of the communities in which we stay. So let me hope you have been able to enjoy this video. If you have ever read any of those books I've been able to put on my top 10, please let me know and tell me the experience you had reading that book. Thanks so much for watching this video up to this level. See you in the next video. Bye.